Thanks for staying with us. Time now for Media Watch, for which I'm joined by James Creedon. Hi, James.
Good evening.
Now, so we're going to start off with some threats from the Greek police union against IMF officials. Pretty strong stuff there.
Absolutely. Now, it's been a pretty lively day over in Greece. There have been riots. The announcement that 6 ministers are standing down. That's the latest. And now, this news came out today, and it's gone pretty much viral on social media. Greek police are threatening the symbolic arrest of EU and IMF officials. Now, this is a union in Greece. You can see it here on Slate's website, but it's been picked up by media across the world. So their largest police union, representing 2/3 of Greek police, has threatened to issue arrest warrants for officials from the country's European Union and IMF leaders for demanding deeply unpopular austerity measures. So what they said in the letter that they issued is that we refuse to stand against our parents, our brothers, our children, or any citizens who protest and demand a change of policy. And we warn you that you cannot make us fight against our brothers. So this is pretty extraordinary. The police, which are the soldiers of the state, and in some senses are the defenders of the establishment, seem, at least symbolically, to be crossing the fence to the other side and saying we're not going to support the IMF and the EU and defend their measures against protesters on the streets who are actually our family. So it's pretty it's extraordinary stuff. And they singled out a couple of people. In fact, this guy is Paul Thompson, the IMF representative in Greece, and this chap here, Klaus Mazuk, is the head of the European Central Bank delegation, who was recently harangued by an Irish journalist, Vincent Browne, in Dublin at a press conference. So this guy, wherever he goes at the moment, seems to be the subject of public and even now official ire.
So the bailout's getting personal.
Yes.
So moving on to a conflict between France and Spain, that's apparently been sparked by a satirical show.
That's right, Les Guignols de l'Info. It's a favourite on Canal Plus here in France. It's a satirical piece. And Alberto Contador, Spanish cyclist, earlier this week, he was suspended for 2 years for doping. They decided to do a little sketch, not featuring Alberto Contador, but featuring the completely innocent Rafael Nadal, showing... let's take a look, because I think it's a case of a picture speaking 1,000 words. Let's take a look at how they depicted him in a show this week.
Take it to ride, so I keep living, 'cause it feels right, and it's so nice, and I do it all again this time, it's forever, it gets better, and I like how it feels.
Les sportifs espagnols, ils ne gagnent pas par hasard.
What are they saying?
Yeah, I think they're the ones taking some sort of illegal substances. It's pretty provocative stuff. And, the Spanish did not see the funny side of it at all. Let's take a look at these pictures of a TV show recently in Spain in this past week, where a journalist from RMC Radio in France, he was a correspondent in Madrid, was picked apart by Spanish counterparts, saying that the French are jealous of Spanish sporting success. They even asked him if he was ashamed of being French. So, I mean, they really did not see the funny side of it. Now, moving to some of the press in Spain, here's El País, and the headline to that article is "Satire. Now it's become a state issue, in Cuestión de Estado." And what they're pointing out there is that the Spanish foreign minister is set to write an official letter to the French sports minister about this. And quite ironically, even Les Guignols actually went further with it later this week, and they showed Rafael Nadal signing a petition in favour of Alberto Contador with a syringe. So you can see that they're not backing down. They're going the whole hog on this. But the Spanish media is now saying, hold on a minute. Just today, a French cyclist by the name of Gianni Longo was suspended, or rather suspected of doping. There's an incident where she's suspected of doping. So they're saying, hold on a minute. Just when there's a French star who is now, in a cloud of suspicion over doping, you're coming out with all this satire? Just ridiculous.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Right, now, finally, satirical website The Onion is turning its attentions to Iran's nuclear threat.
All right, I'll just show you these headlines, Georgia, because they speak for themselves. We're used to seeing headlines such as this, right? Obama concerned that Iran is on the verge of underground nuclear enrichment. About US concerns about Iranian nuclear, enrichment. Let's take a look at what The Onion did today, which I think is pretty bold and pretty funny. Iran worried the US might be building its 8,500th nuclear weapon. So I suppose they're pointing out, the disproportionate nature of nuclear enrichment in the US and in Iran.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for that wrap up, James Creedon,
Thanks,
there
Georgia.
with Media Watch.